Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and I should probably explain. So I've been gone the past couple of weeks, as you probably noticed. We bought a fixer-upper, and it turned out to be a little bit more of a project than I originally thought. Anyway, everything's looking pretty good, so we're back to making videos, and everything should be on schedule. Of course, if you're enjoying these and you want to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. There, I'm just finishing up putting a little bit of clear gel and white over kind of the top of the canvas area. Just very loosely, quick, you don't have to get it perfect. Just a little, and then I go right into, well, I will go right into our Prussian blue and white, and let's see what we can do about just dropping in a simple sky. It's not really a complicated painting today, and but I think it'll really just be nice. I think it'll work out really well because I like the idea of putting a lot of interest kind of in the lighting, a lot of interest in the middle where they're gonna have a lot of beautiful sunlight down on a meadow or something. I'm thinking about a fence because fences are generally really an interesting thing to put into a painting. So anyway, we'll get the sky in for now. How's that? Now let's brighten the sky up a little. It needs a little light, a little life, and I really love the idea of just kind of making this area sparkle. We got to choose about our light. Let's have our light come through here like this today. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes I have a really good idea of how I want the painting to turn out, and sometimes I have a little bit of a less of an idea how I want it to turn out, and this is one of those days. I certainly have a thought, but I didn't even decide on the lighting direction, that sort of idea. So anyway, we shall just block this in as good as we can, maybe do a little blending to it and move on to something else. Like I said, it's not a cloud painting. There we go. Now that we have a basic sketch in here, I just dropped it in very quickly with some gray. I'm just gonna block this area in, starting of course with our background mountains, just doing it very loosely and quick, I want a little bit of roughness to the outline of the mountain. There, I don't want any detail though to speak of. You see, I always like to tip that edge up when I do mountains. Right up, that way it keeps your eye from spilling off the edge of the canvas. Very important. There. And if you've painted with me, you know I like to do that. Boy, we certainly do get kind of into ruts, don't we? We have those things that we do, and that's one of them. There, it's okay. It's a good thing. You learn from experience, and you'll just develop stuff that you like to do. So I'm going to grab a little darker color. Let me show you my palette. Actually, here's a little bit of purple. And let's kind of drop that in. I want a little bit of darkness to this painting, actually, so I'll put a little black in here. A little umber, too, maybe. There, lots of just beautiful colors, because then when you blend this, it kind of melts together. There. And maybe some blue. Okay, so you can kind of see how we're going to play around with the colors today. I quickly mixed up a nice light yellow color. A little green in there is good. And what I'm going to do is just begin to tap on a little bit of highlight to the mountain area. This is important. It helps to really bring it forward just a little. You can see I mushied, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the edge. Oh boy, we're already getting weird today. And I'd like to keep that, so I'd like to just touch that maybe with my 2-inch just to blend it. See that? So that we kind of lose that edge again. It's important to do that before and after the highlight. All right, let's continue. Tapping and smudging just to get a little highlight. You don't want it everywhere, but it does help to kind of sparkle this up. And I would vote for keeping it kind of up toward the top of the mountain. There. This will all make more sense when we get the grass in. It's very green. Wherever this is wet. There, I'm just finishing up, sort of dropping in some background trees. You see we don't need a lot, just a nice dark clump of trees. And I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and just leave those alone. We're not gonna highlight. Let's go down right here. And I'm going to, I don't have a lot of brushes going. I'm still getting back up and running here, so I got one set. That does slow me down. So I will just throw this out there. If you're at all serious about painting, get 2, maybe 3 sets of paint brushes. It makes all the difference in the world. There, so I'm just gonna throw some light. I'm using my sketch to my advantage. That's why we sketch. You gotta make sure you have a road map, and it makes a big difference to have a road map. These simple things really do make painting easier. And to tell you the truth, they make it more fun. And the reason they make it more fun is because you're not frustrated fighting with, things that you don't have to. It's okay to be frustrated because you can't paint a tree, but silly things like you didn't plan out your painting first, no reason for that to happen. So make sure that you just invest that little bit of time, and it's really one of the best tips that I can give you. There, just warm it up a little. Yes, that's so pretty. Love that color. So remember, I wanted to kind of repeat that warmth. See what I'm doing? And this is a fun technique for backgrounds because it's very, very easy to control the paint on the canvas. A little green, a little sap green thrown right into the mix there. Yes. Of course, all these colors and everything you need is available on our website if you haven't already checked it out. All right, just finishing up here with dropping in, a little more green and some golds, just creating the same as the background, just in the foreground. A little more paint, but you don't want too much paint, of course. Now let me take a fan brush, and I'm gonna try to blend some of this together without losing all the beautiful little, light and dark spots. So let's start right here, and I'm just going to touch it and fluff it like this. You just kind of dig in with the top of the brush. It's a really, really, really fun grass technique. There, you just come right along and do it like this. And then, so you see how you pick up paint? You want to wipe that off before going into the light spots, and then work those lights right into the darks. You don't really want to take the darks and pull them into the lights, because let's face it, we generally have no trouble putting in our dark. It's the light that we want to be bright and show up. So you don't want to eat it up, and it will be, eaten up if you don't watch it. So there you go. Just kind of fluff the grass like this. And then, of course, as you get closer, you get bigger strokes. But it's the same idea. Very easy grass technique. Simple, but it's effective. You'd never know it was easy. looks hard, and I love it when stuff looks hard and it's easy. I love it when I get to share it with you guys. And then I just take my brush, flip it up, and do our very, very standard grass technique. So anyways, we'll use a combination of all that to make our very pretty meadow back here. Now let's go ahead and just drop in our path. I'm doing this with a very simple light tan color. Actually, a little red in there would be nice to warm it up. All right, let me see, just right in here. Good, and I'm focusing more in the middle here to start. Then as we go out toward the edges, well, toward the back, maybe we'll get a couple of shadows in there. Should look nice. Cool, there we go. Anyway, you just play around with this sort of stuff. It's not so hard. There. Just a matter of kind of doing it. Always thinking about your angles though, right? Because if you don't think about your little angles and how the shadows are going to work, it might come out a little funny. We don't really want any funny paths around here, so we're going to do our best. The light's coming across like this. Here's an example. You take a little dark brown and just throw a little shadow right here. You guys have probably seen me do this before. It doesn't hurt to re-explain stuff sometimes. So you just throw that little shadow there, and see how that creates a little bit more of a three-dimensional form to that area. And you can obviously, cut in and around with your greens. There's a lot of paint on there today, but honestly the path isn't super important, so I might just leave it a little more impressionistic than sometimes. How's that? A little more rough. I'm good with that, actually. Now with some brown and black on our detail round brush, it'd be fun to just drop in our little fence and kind of figuring out where I want it. I think right here. You don't want anything too big, because otherwise I think it'd be too distracting. The liner brush would probably be a better choice, but what are you gonna do? There we go. So anyway, I'm just gonna drop in these little fence posts like this, lots of them. It's kind of one of these fences that have a lot of tight posts, a lot together. And we're probably gonna run that across like this. Now we're going to drop in a nice big tree. We can see I already kind of did the basic size and shape of it. But now the important part, because this is really kind of just there, it helps to frame the painting. And here's the important part in this particular scene is that we get a lot of limb action going on and good sizing and spacing of our limbs to make this really exciting right here. See that? And this is another reason why I didn't do, well, actually this is the reason why I didn't do a lot of detail in the background here. It's kind of skipped over those trees. We mushed in some trees and kind of skipped over them. as you recall. This way we can have a lot more freedom to put these limbs over, 1 or 2 layers of paint versus 4 or 5 layers of paint if you were to fully finish them out. This will make it a lot easier, because I want a lot of limbs. This is really going to be a good part of the painting, I think. See, I want them to come way over. Actually, I want them to come, there's about halfway. I'd love to see a couple of them, maybe this branch here, come past even halfway. Ooh, that's crazy. Crazy, crazy. It may not look like much yet, but wait till you get that liner brush out. The liner brush should sort of save the day on this tree. That's just generally the way it works when you paint big trees. Usually looks a little funny because it's unfinished. So we'll get the liner brush out. There, so don't go too crazy with your filbert, which is what I'm using, or 3/4, or whatever you choose to use for this. There, we'll put leaves on it, but not too many. This is maybe a little bit on the bare side. Now over here, we'll just do some regular trees, kind of growing from the side here. There, not too much. Maybe just, I don't know, a few. There. That's a very accurate number, isn't it? Now using the liner brush, I'm going to drop on a lot of limbs. So you can see I've already kind of got started on a lot of limbs. Yikes, really is a lot, isn't it? Well, this is good. It helps to make our painting detailed, and it really helps to push the background really far away. Before going too far, I did put a little highlight on the trees, just kind of the ones that we're going to show. There. That looks about right. We'll just keep doing this. I know this is normally the last step, but I figure it'd be better to get the limbs in first, and then we can figure out where we want our leaves. I realize that the leaves may turn a little bit muddy. Oh well. There you go. Just don't worry about it. Sometimes a little mud won't hurt. A lot of mud sometimes does, but a little mud doesn't usually hurt. Cool. Very quickly, using the detail round, I'm going to add just a little highlight on the side of this tree. Doesn't need to be a lot. In fact, if you just look at my palette, my messy palette right now, I'm just kind of picking up mud, throwing it on the canvas. How's that for fun? I'm looking for colors that will match your painting, but really no need to mix up anything. I've done a lot of color mixing today. Well, I guess we always do, don't we? I don't know. I'm just kind of in the pick it up and throw it on the canvas mood right now. So we're going to do it. Sometimes, right? Sometimes you paint a little different each time. And isn't that fun? Isn't it fun to have variety? I like variety sometimes. There. All right, maybe we get a little more light going. Just make it just look a little more sunshine right in there. And yes, sunshine is a word that describes something. Make it look a little more sunshine. Yes, that's looking good. Now with a little bit of yellow and black, and maybe a touch of blue, actually, would be good. Kind of a soft grayish green color, mid-tone, I would say. And we're gonna come up here and just drop in these little leaves. Now, I really don't want to overdo this. And I just want them to be very, very loose, like that. This is a good brush for this. It just makes nice little leaf strokes. Good. Not too many. So I'll do a few mid-tones, probably wipe out my brush. Probably do a few light tones, which I'll just snag from whatever that is. Yeah, a few light tones. Very open today. Very loose. There. And then maybe a couple dark ones on the left, but again, I just don't want to overdo it. A couple of orange tones just tossed in might be nice. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, our DVDs, and also our brush line. Thanks for watching.